Winston Churchill said the destiny of man is not measured by material computations. When great forces are on the move in the world, we learn we're spirits, not animals. And he said there's something going on in time and space and beyond time and space, which, whether we like it or not, spells duty. You and I have a rendezvous with the professor.
Wrestling.
Are you ready? Sorry, I had to go strong there for a second.
Go strong for a second?
For a second.
That's something.
It is something. How are you doing, Dorian?
I cannot complain. It is November.
Yes, it is.
And the year is almost over.
Almost. We need to get into 2021 so we can get past 2020.
Yeah. 2020 is one for the record books.
It is. It definitely is.
We are the Professors of Wrestling, and we want to be Taco Bell famous. So subscribe to the YouTube page. New content is coming before the end of 2020. Like the Facebook page. Let us know what you think. Provide us with feedback and suggestions. Follow us on Instagram at the Professors of Wrestling. Share it all. Spread the word. Join in the discussion. And remember, we want to be a community.
We do. We do. Oh. It's kind of light this week.
Yeah.
But
we have news.
We have news, and I think we're reaching our goal of being consistent again.
Yes.
You want to kick it off?
So GIPW partnered with Boot and Hill to stream all of their events on Fight TV. Their last event of the year will be December 6th. Make sure
I stepped on you there.
Make sure you can check it out, whether it be through Roku, whether it be through your phone or on your computer. December 6th.
Yes. Yes, sorry about that.
No, what were you going to add?
I was going to say, if you're so inclined, they're going to be at the Thirsty Turtle in Macon, is where they do all their events at.
Yeah. Great location.
It is. You want me to take this next part?
This is you.
This is me. Again, this week we are happy again. I don't know why I say this week. Is our sponsor of the show, Ben Owens Music.
Hi, this is Dave from the Professors of Wrestling. I'm at 1803 Plum Street, home of Ben Owens Music, where they've got basses, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, violins, keyboards, guitar pedals, amps, instrument repair, guitar, drum, and piano lessons. Learn from the experts. Ben Owens Music, Valdosta's music store.
Great. So last week we asked for some talking points, and we got a few to come out. First one comes from our favorite White Claw King, frat boy.
I did say whenever things calm down on the Facebook, I will try. This will be my first one. I'm virgin to it. I'll have a White Claw with them.
Okay.
Whenever I see him next.
So from Bryce Cannon, it says, where are they now? Updates on indie wrestlers. Someone that I got for the month of December, Peach State Wrestling out of Heflin, Alabama. We'll be seeing Southern Strong Style and Hold My Beer Hansen. So that's December 5th.
Yeah.
That's where they're headed. The boys are on the road.
I think they can. They have to, because there's just nothing in our area really for anybody to get on.
So they are traveling the roads of Georgia and Alabama. Bryce Cannon, constantly making his mark.
Yeah.
Whether it be through GIPW, the shop.
Like the Talking Shop-A-Mania stuff.
Yep. You see him making his way in Georgia. Who else is there that I've seen? David Ali.
Yeah.
A staple of AEW Dark.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? We saw Ashton Starr team up with David Ali on AEW Dark.
We've seen her at a couple events, the female wrestler. We've seen her at SWA, and I've seen her at Fest also.
Kylan King.
Yeah, Kylan King.
Has gone to SWA.
She's gone to AEW, I believe.
Yeah, AEW.
She's been on some of the dark matches.
And then who else is there? The Storm,
Yeah.
or do we call him Tony?
Tony Storm, we've seen on AEW After Dark.
And he's also with NAWA.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about them a little bit later in the show. So you see our wrestlers still making it through 2020. Make sure that you buy their merch, support them.
I did see Hold My Beer Hansen has a store on Pro Wrestling Tees and has a bunch of different choices. So it is the holidays.
Black Friday's coming up. Make sure you check that out.
And I think these guys are also, they're going out there and doing shows and entertaining. And in this time where there's a lot of uncertainty, a lot of wackiness, just the best way I know how to say it. So we got to go out and support them the best possible. And I think also, if you're a young gun out there, even an old gun, you're out there on a show, send it our way so we can help promote you.
Right. We're all here for it. This next one, we got to thank Brother Azrael, Mayor Wrestle, the Sweeper, Prot, for coming to our defense when El Nino, our favorite student, decided to start some heat of Nobody Cares.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think, and I say this in our post, is it's a cry for help. He really needs some help, and this is the only way he knows how to get it is to lash out. And I want to thank the support from the community, Brother Azrael,
yeah,
and everybody out there. And I just need to say this, El Nino, we're there. Whenever you hit rock bottom,
we're there.
We're going to be there for you.
It's the end of the year. You're asked for extra credit.
Yeah.
There is none. We'll see you next semester, as always.
That is the case. I love seeing the students, but I hate him seeing the same class over and over again.
Right. He'll get there. We move on into promotions, and our first one comes from SWA. This is the recap of Revolution 20, and what a night it was. Preston Veston III came out, told us that the Punkadelics weren't going to be there. But, the man himself, the Scoundrel, came out and interrupted the only way that the Scoundrel knows how.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't seen the Scoundrel in a long time. And if you all have been watching us on the Facebook, maybe you saw that he admitted there's no rust in his game. But
He looked good.
He looked in shape.
Yeah.
He looked in shape. Preston challenged Rod to an 8-man tag with the winner getting a title match.
Mm-hmm.
And Grimes accepted. Bad form, but it's a good way for Grimes to get back into the wrestling of Pavo. The next one that we start to see is Dark Rage, defeating the Southern Assassin Ryan James. And that's one thing that I'm going to be super excited when we go back to Pavo, is to see Ryan James and how the transition from the Soviet assassin to the Southern assassin.
Yeah, I'm wondering how his ring attire has changed, so I'm going to have to check up some of the postings, because we need to say this happened on November 21st.
Yeah.
So, and we always record on Sundays.
Right. Next one, you take it away, Dave.
The big deal, Ryan Holland from Panama City defeated Preston Veston in a match. And then the AIWA, is that correct? Belt was on the line between our favorite, I think it's fair to say that, Spider.
Yeah, Chris Spider is definitely. I mean, he has a belt.
And I just say had a belt and was beat by Uptown Funk. And then the AIWF, that's the belt. I apologize for I caught my botch early. Tag team champs, the Kings of Mayhem, which we think when we were catching them, I think in late 2019 and early 2020, we really kind of liked the synergy of those two guys.
Right.
Had a handicap match with one half of the Nightmare Syndicate, Alex Knight not being able to be there, as Aiden Knight has been working his way back. But he was joined by Ryan James, the Southern Assassin. But again, the Kings of Mayhem, they're a solid team.
Right. You got to catch them off guard.
Yeah, and they know every rule in the book, and they know how to break it. So they're victorious, which takes us to the main event. They had Rod Grimes' team enter the ring with Chris Spider and the members of Kings of Mayhem. Preston's team was the Southern Assassin, Wheezy T, and Tyler Creed. At the end of the day, Wheezy T got a roll-up pin on Rod Grimes, so that means Wheezy T is going to be going against Rod Grimes. Am I reading that correctly then?
The winner getting a title match. So I don't know if it's like between Ryan James, Wheezy T, Tyler Creed.
So which member of that team
Gets that.
is it? Preston Veston?
It's going to be an interesting. Who will Rod Grimes decide? I mean, maybe the champion gets to decide who he picks.
Yes. And then when is the next event by SWA?
December 5th in Newton, Georgia. It's the Baker County Brawl.
It's in that big gym.
Yes. So those of you, remember, put it on your calendars, December 5th.
And now we go to the Georgia Independent Professional Wrestling, which we talked about at the top. That's got that Fight TV and working together with, I want to say Collar and Elbows, with Boot and Heel, excuse me. I'm mixing up my companies there. With Remember Results. Do you want to take this?
Luke Stone defeated Big Money. One of the things that I think, going back to the last show, in this next match, Renegade Enforcer versus defeated Justin White. The Enforcer is making his way up through the ranks of GIPW. He is not one to be considered at the bottom of the totem pole. Who knows? Pretty soon we may see him versus Mr. Right. The next one, I want to say it's Kia Dream. Excuse me if I said it wrong. Defeated Gia Roman and Brooklyn Creed in a triple threat. And then this one we called right on the nose, Frat Party defeating Austin Towers in a handicap match. Now, you told me this one, Skrilla would only need one more match, and then you would consider him ready to go back for that rematch against Mr. Right.
You're correct.
But we're looking at this. Sean Angelo Montana defeated Skrilla the Great. Skrilla the Worst doesn't seem to be...
What's happening to Skrilla? He was like, when they replaced their belt, which I thought was like they went from an okay belt
to a top-notch belt.
Which a top-notch belt, which was, it was beautiful. It was awesome. And then after that, what happened, Skrilla?
The Fall of the Great. Follow it up for us, Dave.
And next match was Divine Intervention defeated the Menagerie. On that, I think that's an interesting. The Divine Intervention is an interesting gimmick and concept up there. And then again, I'm looking forward to, once everything settles down, being able to go back and seeing GIPW in person up there. So next bout was Mr. Right retained the GIP championship over Tony James. Now that was the event right there. The next one is going to be December 6th. At the Thirsty Turtle in Macon, Georgia. This the airing of this will be on Fight TV. If you can't make it to it or you don't feel comfortable, you can then check it out on Fight TV on December 13th. That's a free app, and I know it doesn't cost. There's stuff that costs on that app, but you can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your iPad. You can watch it on your TV or your Roku, which you kind of talked about earlier. What are some of the other ones?
Any device. Yeah, it works on any device.
I was trying to pitch them all right there.
Ah, my bad.
But on that one, and this. But anyway, I digress. The card for that one: Austin Towers v. Bryce Canyon, Skrilla / Renegade versus the V6 and some tag team match. Maybe that's what Skrilla needs, is to get some confidence built up in the tag team division.
Right.
Luke Stone versus Jay Riley. The Sean Angelo Montana versus Eric Silva. Divine Intervention versus Menagerie. It's a tornado tag. So it looks like a rematch. Tony James versus Big Velvet in a hardcore match. And for the championship belt, it is Mr. Right versus Trevor Aon. Didn't we see him at... is that the same one from New Orleans that we saw at NWA when they were doing that up-and-coming thing, the tag team match?
It's not coming to me right now. I haven't. It
was like the dad and the brother, or the dad and the son.
No, those were the Billy. I know what you're talking about, but no.
Okay, because I swear that's the same name. Anyway, so that is for the championship match on that one.
Mr. Right is proving that he wants to face any comer that wants the belt.
Yeah,
he's a fighting champ, so that's something to look out for. Make sure everyone watches it.
We are super supporters of the fighting champ.
Yeah. Next we have NAWA, and the Jingle Brawl is December 19th. They're on Fight as well. Mm-hmm. And they're broadcasting from Daytona Beach.
I believe you can buy tickets for that too if you want to go down there.
Yeah.
So
check it out. We'll leave the website in the description for those who are interested. Coming up, and I would say about right after Thanksgiving, we'll have an interview with Lou Reardon, the director of operations. Started in the wrestling business as a ring announcer for IWCCW. Oof. From there, he went on to become a manager, managing wrestlers such as Primo Carnera III, Manny Fernandez, and Hercules Hernandez. Lou went on to work behind the scenes on the creative and production side of many independent promotions, including ECW, NWA, and other independent promotions in the Southeast. So make sure you mark us on your calendars for after Thanksgiving to see this wonderful interview with Lou. We'll again drop the ticket information into the comments so that you all are interested. If you want to just find out more about NAWA, go to nawawrestling.com.
Yes, we need to do more interviews. I think there's some people we could probably get lined up. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right. This week's extra credit, hopefully you all checked it out. If not, it's a good one. And what drew me, why I sent it your way, is like they were saying Georgia Championship Wrestling was like really in its prime around 81. Or its peak, some say, allegedly. But this is from October 31st, 1981, and I like this because this is Roddy Piper's debut on this.
Yeah, color commentating with George Soley.
Gordon Soley.
It was one of those of wrestling is a science.
Yes.
In case you didn't know by the half of this show. That
I think it's always interesting, too, because he's wearing a suit, like a sports coat and like just that 80s tie. And you get to see him dressed up and not in Roddy Piper attire.
Right.
Within that. So we get in the introduction. Gordon Soley brings him in, and it's Mr. Soley. Mr. Soley. And then anytime, Roddy Piper's, anytime he had any type of interaction, it was always Mr. Soley. Very respectful, which I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, throughout the time, you didn't know if he was a face or a heel throughout this. And then it kind of slowly, the onion kind of peeled itself back, and you go, okay, I get where his character's going to go here for Georgia Championship.
Right.
You want to talk about the first match?
First match was Steve-O in Wrestling 2 versus Mike Miller and Tony Russo. Mm-hmm. I found that, even as Roddy kept saying, they focused on the head a lot in this one. A lot of headlocks. Match speed was a lot faster than the other extra credit that we watched in terms of this one. Mm-hmm. We got some high-flying action a little bit with the head scissors. And Steve-O, wow. And we'll see throughout this whole commentary of it, putting in that karate knowledge with these kicks.
Yeah, I always find it funny is Roddy Piper's like, this is what I would do.
Right.
This is how you do it.
Like I wouldn't just focus on the head. You got to focus on the legs.
Yeah.
Ring psychology.
Very important. But the Steve-O was a kick to a pin in the middle of the ring.
Right.
Clean finish, which takes us to Stan Hansen, who's coming back.
And everyone, what is it, Mr. Soley?
Yeah.
Believed that Hansen was the man throughout all of it. It was a show of brute force by Hansen. I don't know why Ed was even in the ring with him, as Hansen just demolished for...
Well, Stan Hansen didn't even have all his gear when he, his go walk into the ring attire off, and then Ed just kind of jumped into it.
Right.
And then this was like one of the few squash matches
that was on it.
Yeah, and it was just straight lariat to pin, just brutal.
Right. So I'm gonna see. It's gonna be well, not gonna be. We can all go find it, but Hansen definitely proved why he deserved to be.
His reputation is like just a straight
brawler.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we got?
We got the Dusty Rhodes promo.
One leg at a time.
He puts his pants on one leg at a time.
And he wanted us to know he also takes them off.
One leg at a time.
So it's promoting that whole match between him and Ric Flair at the Omni. It's a no DQ, 2 refs.
Yeah.
Man, when we talk about promos and between these two,
it was like back to back because it was Dusty Rhodes followed up by Ric Flair. So you're seeing like people who are at the top of their game,
right?
Promo wise, and so it's in a studio audience, which our experience up the NWA Power it's totally a different experience than like a big arena, which hopefully you'll get to experience sometime in the near future.
Yeah.
But I like how like Rick comes out right after Dusty's and he calls him a bum for wearing like a t-shirt and jeans.
A son of a plumber.
Yeah.
Second straight citizen.
And then Dusty comes out and slaps him.
And then that's the end. They're like, hey, we got to cut to a commercial.
Yeah.
That was pretty wild in a sense.
Which brings us to the next match. One of our favorites from some of the NWA commercials, Austin Idol.
Austin Idol.
There was a bit cringy commercial he did for NWA Power.
Yeah.
The drink one. But
I thought that Idol reminded me of a Ric Flair that we saw later on in life with the robe.
Yeah.
And the Ric Flair is Ric Flair, but I think he added in this robe attire.
Yeah.
And this. So
I think Ric Flair always had the robe.
Gotcha.
On that, I think Austin Idol was like, I'm a Hollywood guy. I'm the beautiful,
But versus Rick Thor,
takes his. I haven't heard Idol takes his time getting his robe off.
yeah, for sure, definitely took his time. Strong combo of right hands and boots.
Yeah.
By Idol. As the great Roddy Piper was saying, punches to the midsection that Thor tried to throw were ineffective. Mm-hmm. Again, pure commentary from Roddy Piper of what he would have done in terms of these matches. But, I mean, Idol was on it from point A to point B, one with the figure four.
But, what's interesting, before he did the figure four, he'd had 1, 2, and then pulled him up on the before the 3, and then moved to the submission hold. I think one thing I'm noticing, and maybe I never really paid that much close attention to it, is there's a lot more submission pins, or I don't know, submission pin. That's kind of redundant. A lot of submission holds for the win, versus anything you see right now currently on any of the bigger name promotions.
And that's something that I think we pose this question even to our indie wrestlers of what makes you go back into the submissions, or what will. We know Vinny is a submission technician. Yeah. But who else? What will it take to incorporate that into your own? You got something in terms of
Michael Haynes, part of the part of the Freebirds on there. So that's why they're playing the Freebird song. Austin Idol interrupts, and then we move in. Then we just move into the. I like this. The Gary Hart's analysis of Steve O's martial art clip. Like it's this weird clip
of Gary. Oh no, of Steve O.
Steve O doing martial arts, and then Gary Hart going, "Yes, his form is good."
That's America Karate. Their form is great.
Execution is terrible.
Right. He's not hitting anybody.
No. Yeah. That bag is not fighting back.
Look at those boards. Yeah, that's impressive. I could hit a board.
Yeah.
So it's just really showing you that.
It's like a backhanded compliment. Like, he's really good.
But he's not that guy.
At punching stationary stuff or the air.
Right.
So we get into it. And then, so that brings us... Yeah, it's really American style versus Asian style. Of martial arts. Which brings us to the Super Destroyer.
Yeah.
Versus Don Gilbert. I know a lot of these matches, I always like... a lot longer than I expected. Because it's TV, because usually back then TV would be to promote, the events at the Felon Armory or at the Omni or something like that. So
this one was heavy on interference. We got interference from Tommy Wildfire.
Yeah. Steve-O calls him out and because they think the Super Destroyer is like some other person I can't remember.
Superstar.
Okay, yeah.
And he turns around, gets his attention. But Destroyer was on Don Gilbert from start to beginning. And he proved why he was the Destroyer.
Yeah. But there's like a big Donnybrook breaks out where you get a bunch of the faces and the heels. And then finally it calms down and then a submission hold is put on the Cobra.
The Cobra hold.
The Cobra hold.
And it was over.
Over like that. And then we go Brian Blair... versus Brian St. John.
This was my favorite.
Really?
This was my favorite. And I mean, granted, spoiler alert, the match expired. The match expired.
How often do you see that though? Like at any event we've gone to, like it's like a time. We've gone to matches. Like obviously there's a 20-minute time limit, and we've heard about 10 minutes.
Right, and then but this one actually expired. You had Blair with that wrestling background from college as well as football.
Yeah.
Definitely a technical style of wrestling in terms of working the arm. When many would, I guess you would say, Roddy Piper's just like, yeah, that's great to work the arm, but work the leg still.
I'd have this match over in 30 seconds.
Why is he still toying with him? But for this match to go, I think, 10, 15 minutes.
I think it was like a 10-minute maybe.
10-minute match, and it to just expire. It's something that maybe it happened again. Maybe they had a rematch at one point in life.
I wonder if they were like just behind the scenes of like Brian Blair or one of the two guys who's like, okay, he's coming up from some other promotion. We want to see how he works with the crowd.
Right.
Maybe both of these were new in Guy One Day. But I was surprised. I'm like, what time limit? How often do you see that?
Right.
Or Shine. And then was that the last and then we move into this was an interesting aspect of it. There was a rotation of people.
Right.
That came back. So then we got a singles match between Steve-O and Jim Nelson.
Yeah. This is where we move a little bit different for Steve-O, and he's working the leg.
Yeah.
And I thought at one point Nelson did his job in making Steve-O seem bigger than what he was, because through the bear holds, through the suplexes, and the right hand, like, he almost broke Steve-O's back at one point, I would think.
Yeah.
With all the amount of work that he put on him.
This is my... Okay, I agree with you on that. I think Jim Nelson was a total, as a worker, elevated Steve-O. But then my whole notes on this, is Steve-O, good wrestler? I'm just not that impressed. This is like... I can see that the Georgia Championship Wrestling is trying to build him up.
Right.
But I was just never impressed with any of his mic skills. Like, in the ring, it's good. I think it's just, like, also key elements. Like, Roddy Piper was an okay in the ring, right? Super serviceable and all that, but was a great talker. I think you have to, like, if you're, Steve-O needs to have, like, a man, like, why great managers elevate good wrestlers is they kind of work out their weaknesses, and I think his weaknesses, his mic skills.
Gotcha. We'll have to see I'll have to look up where Steve-O ended up in life.
Yes.
But that was a match in which, again, I didn't expect Steve-O to win.
Really?
Because, throughout, it was a strong start for Steve-O.
Mm-hmm.
But the 10-minute match, I'd say a good 5 of it, Nelson was working him down, suplex, and again through the bear hug. I didn't think Steve-O stood. It was just some random kicks at the end, and it was just like, all right, it's time to wrap this up.
They were hyping up that karate element.
Right. He knows karate.
The American karate.
Yeah.
Karate.
That goes out to our good friend, ?
Yes.
I hope he's our friend.
Oh, yeah. We hope so, too. Which, the Great Kabuki, I forgot about the Great Kabuki, versus Mike Jackson, which is an unfortunate name during that time and era.
Mike, what is it?
You think of Michael Jackson.
1981?
Yeah. So there's a promo about the Great Kabuki's history with Gary Hart as it was funny because he's walking around with katanas. I believe that's what, like, those things, and it's just like...
He's an assassin.
He's got the Kabuki mask on and going on there, and it's interesting how, like, the education of each one of the wrestlers is brought up. He's like, he's got a master's degree.
He can teach math.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Piper, and I have my notes on there. Piper, not really that impressed.
Yeah, he's like, what can he teach? Great, but can he wrestle?
Yeah. Within that, and then there was also the green mist, the mystical green mist.
Right.
On that one, what were your thoughts?
They really hyped up, I guess at the time, green mist was something of new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you get an exotic aspect of it.
Right. And then this one was chops by... Kabuki worked the pain points in a...
Yeah. There was a lot of, like, Asian karate.
And really showing the difference between how they called it from Steve-O.
Yeah.
You could tell that Kabuki really knew some form of karate. Steve-O is just coming out there, and if I kick, it makes it seem like I know karate.
He took the beginner class at the Y.
Right. And Kabuki probably taught the class.
Yeah.
So it was one of those, Jackson tried. I thought the highlight for Jackson was the flying head scissors.
Yeah.
But after that, it just went downhill.
Yeah. You knew he wasn't going to win.
No.
He didn't have a promo before it. He wasn't flashing katanas.
Mike Jackson was just there to take an L.
Yeah, he's just a jobber.
Yeah.
Doing the job. And then we move into Stan Hansen's in the tag team with Tommy Rich versus Tony Russo and Billy Joe Good. Was it Billy Joe Good? What a choice when it comes to his tights. I thought the tights were super interesting.
Yeah.
On that. Again, Stan Hansen, steak and potatoes, lariat to pin.
Now, what do you think in this situation? Because we're starting to see these wrestlers wrestle 2 matches in a night.
Right.
And the Iron Man, I guess the physical toll that it takes on your body.
I think it was a different... I mean, you have a lot of this... Wrestling still is kayfabe.
Yeah.
And a lot of those guys, they I mean, did they look like they're in shape? They were probably in ring shape. But which is a totally different shape than like you see those guys or anybody who's like crazily buff, but has like terrible cardio. And I've read and heard stories about like after matches. I'm trying to think of they'll be like smoking cigarettes and drinking beers in the background, going high-fiving each other, and they just like it was this kind of normal locker room thing. And after they had done like a 60-minute Broadway or something like that. I mean, it was a different era and a different type of like what is in shape. And there's a beer gut, they're barrel shaped, but they're not the Lex Luger built up. It's a different. I mean, I think it's like you look at like power lifters, versus guys who are just like totally cut with a 6-pack. Like that's a different. Or the world's strongest men. Those guys are in shape. It doesn't look like it.
It'll be interesting to see when wrestling comes back.
Yeah.
Well, wrestling in Valdosta comes back. Who, if anyone's going to do those multiple matches a night?
I don't know. I mean, I think you're. How many people are going to come back to wrestling? I don't know. I'm talking about the wrestlers, not the fans. I think the fans are chomping at the bit.
Right.
So again, but also you look at Stan Hansen. His matches are pretty quick.
Yeah.
Come in there, boom. Let's not show any weaknesses.
Just know this laureate's gonna hit at the end. And
You're gonna get like bammed and then pinned. Which takes us to the big red promo where he's gonna be the special guest announce for the Omni match. Between Ric Flair
and Dusty Rhodes.
On that one.
Nice.
So talking about it, Ray Stevens versus Gerald Finley. This was the quickest match of the night. They ring the bell.
Yeah.
Ray Stevens comes in, wham, bam, boom, puts him into a pile driver, pins. I think it was like 30 seconds.
Wow.
So there was that one. I was just wondering because there was like still a promo from Michael. He wants his promo back because it got taken over by Austin Idol. And then they wanted to do the main event, which was Ole and Gene Anderson, which I'll get to in a second. But Ted Oates versus Jose Medina. It's a match. It was probably one of the fastest paced matches up there. Seeing that, they talk about Joseph Medina's background and all that fun stuff. And then it goes from he does a spinning to a hold submission. So again, another submission hold win within that one. Then Michael Hayes comes back from the Freebirds, gets his promo, talks about how beautiful and sexy he is and all that. Does the Michael Hayes stuff. Always cuts a great promo, which then takes us to the final match of the evening: the Andersons, Ole and Gene versus Bob Russell and Bruno Sammartino Jr., which I'm going to question, was that really Bruno Sammartino Jr. or just somebody they saying was Bruno Sammartino Jr.? Because I tried to look at the images, and obviously it's 80s video, and it's not, HD effect, and trying to find images of the internet.
Right.
I question that, but tag team match, obviously Ole and Gene, the tag team are well thought. I think they were tag teams on that. I probably should have written that down. Submission hold again. And then come over for a promo saying they're ready for anybody.
Gotta love the submission holds in this situation.
My question to you is, before I send the next one, we'll keep with the Southern thing, and I'll find something. What'd you overall thought?
Overall, I thought this one was a lot faster
Yeah.
than the first one that we watched. This one was definitely, I found this one to be more entertaining. My favorite, again, and if we see it in the next extra credit, if we have it, see where Brian Blair ends up in life.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe.
So you want to do another one of these?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Should we go to Florida, like do Florida Championship Wrestling?
Invite them into the mix. Why not?
All right. So I'll dig out. I'll try to find the golden years. Or if you, the listener, have something from Florida Championship Wrestling, or you want to send us like a Continental Wrestling Championship,
Check us out.
send it our way. We're open.
Yeah.
So how many, like, what is it, on a star rating? Let's say 5 stars. How many stars would you give this one?
This one, I'd say 4.
Okay.
I can go with 4. Excellent commentary. I think it felt like it gave me more insight at the time
Yeah.
because it is Roddy Piper to say, like, here's the different aspects of going against the opponent, whether they be taller, bigger, or faster than you. How would you attack it?
Yeah. I was going to go 3.5, but then you brought me the Roddy Piper commentary, and I thought it was really good that Gordon Soley's like the straight man,
Right.
and Roddy Piper is almost like comic relief. Within that, they balance each other really well on that. So I'd go 4 stars, yeah.
Yeah.
On that. You watch it, check it out. How many stars would you give this one? Again, there's links in there, and there's also links on the Facebook page. This was Georgia Championship Wrestling, founded on the YouTube, October 31st, 1981, Roddy Piper's TBS debut.
And again, yeah. So you can find me on Twitter at D2Baber.
I'm just a professor.
And remember, we are the Professors of Wrestling, and we want to be Taco Bell famous. So subscribe to the YouTube page. We are working on new content for 2020. Like the Facebook page. Let us know what you think and provide us with feedback and suggestions. Follow us on Instagram at the Professors of Wrestling. Share it all, spread the word, and please join in the community.
Please.
Please.